It's enormous, flashy, aimed at gamers, but once the novelty wears off, it leaves you questioning, what exactly is this supposed to be good at? As a monitor, it's awkward and overwhelming, and as a TV, let's just say there are far better options out there for that kind of money. Today, we're going to dive into one of the most controversial displays on the market, the Samsung Odyssey Ark 55-inch Gen 2. This is a curved monitor with a 165Hz refresh rate. The most standout feature for this monitor is the cockpit mode, which basically means you can rotate this vertically in a portrait mode. All that sounds great, but let me tell you upfront that from my experience, it's not that great of a monitor, nor it's a great TV. So who is this really for? Before we deep dive into the features, let's cover the key aspects of what makes this monitor so good. This monitor offers a 4K resolution, which is 3840 by 2160. It has sharp and detailed visuals, which can be noted when gaming, streaming, or working. It also has a decent 165Hz refresh rate with 1 millisecond response time, providing you smooth performance. This does help during gaming. Finally, the screen has anti-glare coating, which helps reduce glare. Now, this monitor for some reason has two separate user interfaces. The first one is called Gaming Hub. This is where you can access your PC, your console, and then your cloud gaming services like Xbox Cloud or NVIDIA GeForce Now. The second interface is the Samsung's Smart TV interface. This is your standard run-of-the-mill Smart TV UI, which is available on most of the TVs. What this means is that you can stream apps like YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime from the monitor, giving you dual functionality of a TV and a gaming display. Another great feature of this monitor is Multiview. This means you can show up to 4 inputs in landscape or standard mode, or 3 different inputs in vertical mode. However, I've noticed that there's lack of support, which I'll dive into later. Now, one of the most important or exciting features of this monitor is the ability to rotate in portrait mode, also known as cockpit mode. The vertical setup is ideal for games like Flight Simulator, any kind of vertical gaming, or even coding. This gives you more height and you can fit a lot more content on the screen. Also, to keep things neat, the Samsung Odyssey Ark Gen 2 comes with a separate dock box that houses all the connectors and ports. This allows you to connect up to 3 HDMI 2.1 ports and one display 1.4 port. I really wish it had additional display ports because most of my devices use DisplayPort. There are some additional inputs throughout the box which help reduce clutter on your desk and make it easier to manage cable. So you connect all your wires to the box and then there's only one wire which connects to the monitor, which provides all the inputs and the power. Lastly, I want to mention that assembling this monitor will require 2 people since the base is quite heavy. Now let's talk about the immersive experience. This monitor excels both at gaming and content consumption, delivering a truly immersive experience. Sitting in front of this massive display feels like stepping into another world. That's due to the 1000R curve that wraps around the field vision. The 1000R curve specifically is designed to mimic the natural shape of the human eye, which helps in the immersion and reducing the need to move your head constantly. The specs are perfect for fast-paced gaming, where every frame matters, eliminating stutter and screen tearing. Whether you're diving into an open-world game, streaming your favorite shows, or multitasking with multiple inputs, the Odyssey Ark Gen 2 delivers. Now, let's talk about the party piece, which is the Multiview. The Multiview mode of this monitor is one of its standout features, allowing you to watch TV, Netflix, YouTube, and even connect your PC or console all at the same time. It's a great way to make the most of the massive screen. You can split the screen up to 4 different sections, each displaying separate input, which makes it feel like a productivity hub. You can also rotate the screen into portrait mode and have up to 3 different split screens. However, the support for the Multiview is limited in my experience. While it handles TV and YouTube effortlessly, there are some gaps. For example, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and other popular streaming services aren't fully supported in multi-view mode. This limitation can be real letdown if you're hoping to multitask by gaming while trying to watch a show or, watch a movie or something. Another downside is how the audio is handled. Currently, audio only plays from one selected source at one time, even if you have multiple inputs running. It's a bit of a missed opportunity in my opinion, as it would have been ideal for audio to play from multiple sources or give user options to select from at least 2 different input sources. I really hope that Samsung addresses this in the future software updates. Now let's cover the display. The monitor offers two viewing modes, which I already mentioned previously. There's the landscape mode, which is the standard mode, and then there's the portrait mode, which is called the cockpit mode or vertical mode. This gives you the flexibility depending on whatever you need. However, switching between these modes has both advantages and limitations that are worth considering. In landscape mode, the monitor provides a massive 55-inch 16:9 viewing area. You can take full advantage of the multi-view mode by splitting the screen up to 4 different sections, which is great for gaming while monitoring YouTube, chat apps, or other input screens. I can even hook up my MacBook Pro and my PC and watch YouTube and look at TV all at the same time. For tasks like video editing, gaming, or watching movies, this landscape mode makes the most sense, offering lots of horizontal space and more traditional viewing experience. Now, switching to portrait mode or cockpit mode creates an entirely new experience. This is also good for watching lots of YouTube shorts or TikTok, which is pretty cool in this mode. It's really like having one giant phone. However, this mode raises some important questions. I don't see a good use for this mode apart from being bragging or showing it off to my friends. When the monitor is in portrait mode in multi-view, it acts like a 27-inch monitor. Even for work, I can't really work on a tiny screen while I have YouTube and TV running on the side. It's really hard to view content in my experience. Now let's talk about the remotes. There are two of them. I'm a simple guy and I like simple things, but sadly this TV has two remotes and sometimes it gets confusing on which one I should be using at which time. First remote is your standard TV Samsung remote. The second remote is called the Ark dial. Both can be charged via USB or solar power. The Ark dial is a compact remote designed to control the monitor. It features essential buttons including power button, back button, input, and a dedicated multi-view or menu button. The multi-view button is sort of useful, allowing you to quickly switch between different inputs or access multi-view without even going to the full menu. With the other remote, I have to navigate through different menus and then go into multi-view mode if needed. Alright, let's get into one of the biggest drawbacks of this monitor, which is ergonomics and usability. You're immediately logged into a very specific way of sitting. To fit this monitor on your desk, you need a very deep and long desk, which also needs to be height adjustable to get the right height. Even with it being adjustable, I'm not able to get proper viewing angle. I can mainly see or view half of the screen 90% of the time, and the rest of the time I'm mainly using my peripheral vision to view things. And what this does, it takes a big toll on my back and my neck because I'm constantly looking up, which really interferes with my ergonomics. Honestly speaking, it's a workout just to keep your head moving across the monitor, especially when you're using in the cockpit mode. You'll quickly start to wonder if all this screen real estate is worth the literal pain in the neck. Now let's talk about the sound. The sound is decent, it does have some bass, and that's all I'll say about it. Alright, now I want to talk about some comparisons. So my previous monitor was a Samsung CRG9, which I bought back in 2020. So that monitor died, and that drove me to purchase the replacement, which is this monitor, the Samsung Odyssey Ark Gen 2. Now, these two styles of monitors are very different and serve a very different purpose. I'm mainly coming from an ultra-wide monitor, so my experience is very drastic. First off, let's address the aspect ratio. The Samsung 49-inch CRG9 uses a 32:9 aspect ratio, which is truly ultra-wide gaming experience, while the Odyssey Ark 55-inch Gen 2 sticks with more of a traditional 16:9 aspect ratio. What that means really is that the CRG9 I got previously had a lot more horizontal real estate in games that support ultra-wide resolution like Counter-Strike 2 or Far Cry or even Flight Simulator or racing games like Grid or F1. You can literally see a lot more content and more environment on your side. This is very useful when spotting your enemies or seeing the extra scenery or something. But with the Samsung Ark 55-inch, I would say you can see your enemies a lot closer and they're right in front of you, so it's a trade-off. Overall, I've been sucking at gaming lately because I'm still getting used to this aspect ratio. Even though I changed the settings to 21:9 and 32:9 aspect ratio, the screen does not look wide enough. A very good example of this is Far Cry 6. The game looks so much zoomed in and I cannot see my enemies overall when I'm playing on the Samsung. I have a hard time playing this game, so if you have a hack or know how to solve this problem, let me know in the comments below. Let's talk about the usability outside of gaming. With the Samsung CRG9 ultra-wide layout, I got natural multitasking. It's like having two 27-inch monitors side by side, making it a lot easier to manage multiple windows. On the other hand, the Ark's vertical height can feel overwhelming, and if I try to split it into multiple sections with Samsung's Multiview, the experience is not as smooth. If you're considering the Samsung Odyssey Ark 55-inch Gen 2, and if you're coming from an ultra-wide monitor, then you should look at the Samsung Odyssey, the 49 inches, or the 57-inch ultra-wide monitor, as that's like similar pricing to this monitor. Lastly, what I want to say is that this Gen 2 monitor is clearly aimed at gamers and enthusiasts and power users looking for a top-tier immersive experience. However, for casual gamers or those who are looking for a balanced office and gaming display, the size and curve might be excessive. While the Arc Gen 2 might look cool, the Samsung's ultra-wide 49-inch or 57-inch monitors might be a better fit for, gaming and work-related needs, in my opinion. That's why I think I'm going to return this monitor and maybe go get the Samsung 57-inch monitor. If you really want to experience the Samsung Odyssey Ark 55-inch monitor on a budget, I would just say buy like a 48 or 49-inch TV or even a 55-inch TV and place it on your desk. You'll get 80% of the same experience at a fraction of the price. Well, that's it for this video. Consider liking or subscribing to this channel if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.